It's me, Tanya Rich, with another Tanya Talks podcast. Now, sometimes I don't want to just talk to people who are voice actors because there are lots more people in the world who have very interesting stories to tell, like my guest today. Now, Lee Evans, or Evo as most people know him, is somebody I've known for a long time, and anybody in the music scene, in the punk music scene, would know him. Because apart from the fact that he's such a great supporter of all the bands out there, he's a stage manager, he's a crew wrangler, he's a band supporter, he's just an all-time round fantastic person to have in your crew. If I had a band, I'd want Evo on my side. And and he's just one of the few people in the whole world, actually, I've never had anyone say a bad word about, which is extraordinary, isn't it? Or maybe they just wouldn't say it to me. I don't know. He's also a carpenter and a site manager by trade. But in a very short period of time, Evo's life has had a dramatic change. And it's because of this, not that he wasn't interesting before, but he's even more interesting now, that I wanted to talk to him on this podcast. So, Evo, welcome to Tanya Talks.
Hi, Tanya. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate.
Good.
Nice to see you.
And you?
Yeah. So I just said that, you've got all this great history with bands and everybody in the punk scene knows who you are. You do Rebellion, you do all kinds of festivals, Morecambe, the works. But by day, occasionally you got to make a crust because we know that these punk things don't always pay a lot of money. Yeah. Carpenter, site manager.
Yeah.
So how many weeks ago, and it is weeks, did your life take a dramatic turn?
I think it was the 27th of April, the date, when I've looked back on some photographs. I think it was that's when I went into hospital and let them have a look at my foot.
So let's just go back a minute. Were you at work wearing your safety boots?
I was at work, but it wasn't that day. It was 2 weeks before.
Tell us the whole story. What happened?
Well, I just felt, to be truthful, I can't exactly pinpoint the day because it could have been a day before, 2 days before. I was just working on the job, felt as if I'd got a bit of grit in my shoe, took me work bit off, tipped it up and a little bit of grit come out, so I just thought it was that. It was the end of the day, so I changed into my normal trainers to drive home. I got back work the next day, put my boots on. A couple of hours later, this rubbing again, this like sharp little scratch. Took my boot off again, felt inside my boot and felt the teeniest little pin coming through my boot. It hadn't gone into my foot as such, but it must have scratched it. So I turned the boot upside down, found where the nail had gone through because it was buried right in, I couldn't see it. So I scratched it in my boot, pulled it out with a pair of pliers, thought nothing of it.
How long was this nail?
It was about an inch and a half.
But
they're really thick soled boots, so it could only just literally come through the boot. It was just literally through the boot. So I thought nothing of it. I thought I just got a little scratch on my foot. Then 2 weeks later, and it was 2 weeks, I was being old and getting on. I went for put my socks on for go work, before I put my boots on, lifted my foot onto the poop and saw a little piece of skin. So I pulled the skin off my foot, bottom foot, nothing of it, boots on. 3 hours later at work, my foot was just absolutely throbbing and banging and sore. And that was the start of the problems. But obviously, I never thought it would lead to where it led now. And what happened next?
My husband used to be a tradie, and I know how thick those work boots are. So for you to not feel anything more than a bit of grit shows how, good those soles are, to be honest. So, and I was also thinking that just like most human beings, we like a good pick, don't we? So if I looked at my foot, and there's a bit of skin on it, I'd just go, ooh, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, everyone would do that, right?
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Don't do it because, well, let's hear a bit more what happened. So you went to work, your foot was really starting to bang and throb. Then what?
So it was sore. So Saturday morning, I went up to the Haywood, obviously in Stoke-on-Trent Walking Centre. They had a look at it. Said, it was inflamed and such and such. So they cleaned it, give me some antibiotics, and you think, okay, that's going to do the job.
Yeah.
So Sunday I come home, had a day where it was just sore, antibiotics doing the job. Went with on the Monday and Tuesday, it was banging. Obviously, by then I'd had 4 days antibiotics and it was going purple and swelling up more. So I decided to go to the hospital, let them have a look at it, and they said they looked like it was infected. I could have sepsis. So they basically did me a full blood transfusion the one night. I woke up the next morning and it was going black.
Oh my God.
And so this specialist come down American lady. She was really lovely, and said to me it looked like I'd got gaseous gangrene and I'd probably be losing a couple of toes.
So just taking it from there. So first of all, you get a foot that's throbbing. It then goes red. It then goes black. You must have been pretty scared.
Eh, I wasn't at
Worried?
first. I wasn't at first, no, because I just thought it was an infection. I only
Yeah.
got a bit scared when I went in the hospital, and I could physically see it going black. It was going black in front of my eyes and spreading across my
Really?
foot. Yeah, yeah,
Like spreading.
yeah.
Oh, how
From
horrible.
my toe to like across my toes and down the side of my foot, I could see it actually going
Oh my God.
like hour by hour. It was going further and further. So I went in the morning. By mid afternoon, my two toes were off.
Oh, jeez.
And
So this,
that was the only time that I got upset and got shocked, is when, well, no, telefib I did do when I saw my toes after they'd come off, because I was only expecting two toes, not half a foot. So
yes,
when
I've
they
seen
took
the
the
pictures.
when they told me, obviously I got a little bit upset, ran my family and that. I said, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I mean, I've got it, and everything will be okay. But I say, then things just progressed.
Yeah, because I saw the pictures of it, and I mean, it was on Facebook. People, it actually had a warning on saying graphic content. So I
Yeah.
thought, well, it's either going to be Evo just deciding to pose for Playgirl, or it's going to be something to do with his foot, or maybe both. Anyway, it was your foot, and my good, I mean, it looked like a prosthetic almost from a horror movie, didn't it? It didn't
Well,
look real in
the
a way.
first operation when they took the toes off and
Yeah.
part of my foot, and obviously they must have scraped it was the gangrene out. Basically, I thought it looked like a skate wing.
How
Honestly, it did.
elegant.
And then that's when I got upset, because they said you were losing a couple of toes, and to see how much they had to take off, and then wrapped it up, and then when they come and saw me the next day, and I had a look at it and opened it up, and I saw that. And then they said to me, "Do you still think there's some infection and I might need more off?"
Oh
And then a
God.
few days later, they come back and had another look, and they said, "Yeah, I need more." And then
And
they
also,
did.
apart from the shock of everything happening to you, because having anything removed in any
Mm.
operation, regardless of whether, even a tooth out, is a
Yeah,
shock to the system.
yeah, of
So
course
you
it says, yeah,
had the shock of this of seeing that they'd taken more than they said, then the fact that it wasn't getting better, and the shock of them saying more, but also it's kind of your body goes, oh my goodness, I've lost a part of me. It's
yeah.
a mental shock as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And then the only thing is, I mean, you're just thinking then, grief, am I going to get back to work? And my main thing was, am I going to go back to festivals and working?
Yeah,
Because that's me.
your
We all go
life,
work for
isn't it?
money, but my festivals and music is my love and passion. So yeah, so it was just a massive shock. And I say, I had to have the second operation, and when they say you might lose another toe or maybe two toes, and they basically took half my foot away and left me with what looked like a bloody lobster tail. And they said to me, "Oh, we've had to do that. We have to do the minimal we can, but the most we have to do." And then I just said to the lady, "Well, am I supposed to recover from that?" She said, "Well, you've got a good 9 months rehabilitation, rebuild the foot." And then my next question was, "Will I be able to wear a Doc Martin?"
Of course
And
it was.
and then she said to me, "No, you'll have to have special shoes with special insoles and that." And I said, "Well, you're basically telling me I'll have like as we were young, and I don't mean this to in any disrespect, like a club foot, like a cripple foot shoe."
Yeah.
I said, "Is that what I'm going to have to have?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, so," I said, "Well, I want it cut off below my knee." And the reason I said that is one of my best mates, Bod, he's a punk lad. He's cut off at the knees, had it 10 years, and I see him at gigs jumping round pogoing,
That's
working
more than
right as
I could
rain.
do.
And I thought to myself, that is the only way I can get back to anything I want to be. So I've made that decision.
Yeah, because I
Off.
mean, if you're once in those kind of shoes, that the kind of thing they're talking about, I mean, that's just
Yeah.
that's it really. There's
Well,
nothing more we can do,
the
is there?
surgeon just said basically you'll have a heel. And he said, but it could be very prone to ulceration because you're walking on a heel. And I said, well, I walk properly. She says,
Yeah,
no, you'll probably walk with a limp. And she goes, well,
no.
I said I
But,
want it off then,
I
below the
still
knee.
thought it was a very brave decision that you made, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
not an easy thing. You're
no.
making it sound. I mean, this is your strength of character. This is one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you and to share your story with people, because your strength of character is amazing. Because it would, especially in this world we live in now, when people really are quite let's just say delicate of a constitution. I think it really goes to that
Yeah.
Gen X toughness and then some.
Yeah.
So that you made the decision to have your
Yeah.
taken off. How much below the knee is it? I mean, how much of
It's
a knee
about,
gap do you have?
well, I'll just tell you the story anyway. The lady said to me, I said, could I have it below the knee? She said, that's your choice. You'll be fine as you are. I said, well, I won't be fine. I says, she says, I'll give you 2 to 3 days to think about it, and then we'll go from there. She left. I rang my mum. I rang my ex-girlfriend, Denise, who I'm really, really still really good friends with.
Yes.
And them two know me more than anything. So I said to them, I'm having, and they were all like really upset. I said, well, to me, it's the only way I can move forward. Obviously, Mark Bod used me, mate. He was a massive inspiration. He come up and saw me while I was in there. And I never looked back. I just never, ever thought, I thought, no, I'm going to have it off. And I'm going to be walking and I'm going to be back to normal.
See, I
It's
think
the
this
only
is
way I could
brilliant.
be. It's the only way. Positive. Got to be
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah, well, you have. I mean, having a positive mental attitude really does
Yeah.
help, but it's not always easy
No, no.
because even when you're as brave and strong and determined as you are, and I think these are fantastic qualities, there are still, it's a huge thing to do because
Yeah,
again, a
yeah.
shock to the body.
Yeah.
But you had a wonderful surgeon, and didn't they do something? I mean, I've seen what they did. My goodness, that was like proper Harley Street care you got on that
Yeah.
knee.
Yeah, well, I'll say the American lady, she didn't do the second operation because she was away. She was away for a week, but she come back and did this last one, and all the people who I know have seen it. I've got a couple of friends with prosthetics, and they said they can't believe how neat it is. Yeah, and while I had a tattoo on my calf, and literally they took my tattoo and folded it over and stitched it so it's folded round, so it's now on the bottom of my
I
stump.
know, it's
And,
so
and I
honestly,
think
guys,
it's the
it's
coolest
so
penguin shit. I
cool.
absolutely love it.
It is. I'm gonna get some pictures of your Facebook if you don't mind, and put them on this story because I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
people need to see that
Yeah.
because it is really cool. If you're going to have half a leg,
I can show you now if you want live.
go on then, show
Yeah.
me.
Let
Yeah,
me take
let's
me.
put it
I've
out
got me
there.
2 seconds. I've got my compression stocking on.
All
Let me
right.
just
Now
take this
stop
off.
trying to turn me on with your compression stocking
Oh
stories,
no, it's
Evo.
got me right. Let me just
Is
see
it
if I can.
beige? Look at that, guys. How cool is that? And so now, of course, you must be on painkillers, are you, or no? No
Do
painkillers.
you want me to tell you the truth? I haven't been in any pain since the day I went in.
Wow.
Once they cut it off, I don't. Just a quickie. I have got
Yeah.
diabetes, and diabetes was one of the
Well, I
main
was going to ask
reasons.
you about that.
Yeah, and they said it might be because I've got diabetes that I'm not getting as much pain because obviously your blood flow and such and such. Even
Okay.
though I can feel everything, the only time I got pain is when they took the dressings off. It was like tender and delicate.
Yeah.
But you're on a morphine. Well, it isn't a morphine drip. I don't know what it says what the drip is, but it
I
was
know what you
on a
mean.
drip and different drips and everything. And then once I had the leg off, it was on a painkiller drip for about 5 days, which went directly into it. And they said it might hurt when that comes out, but it didn't. I didn't have any pain.
And have you had the fabled phantom limb?
Oh yeah, I get them all the time. That's the strangest thing in the world.
How is it? Tell me what it's
Oh
like.
well, right now I've got itchy toes, but I haven't got any toes.
Oh my god! Do you know my feet have just gone like that when you
And
said
then
that?
just below where they cut off on my shin part, that's been really tingling for a few days. But then the weirdest sensation I've had is I was in bed the other night and I got cramp, but I've got no cough. I get cramping, but I got cramp.
Oh,
And it
so how
felt
did that?
weird. Oh, it
How did
wasn't
that
crazy. It was just
manifest?
that cramp feeling. It was so strange.
How? That is
Yeah,
so weird. Just, I mean, that shows how amazing our brains are. Really, that it can
yeah.
do that.
And honestly,
And I went,
if I touch my leg now, if I touch the front where they've stitched it,
yeah.
because I touch the front and I can feel it at the back. I don't know if it's the nerves or the skin or
Oh, it
whatever,
could be
but
the
I can rub
nerves.
the front there and it feels like I'm rubbing the back of my leg. Nuts.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
weird
so you're
odd
getting
feeling.
two for the price of one on a rub
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
really, aren't
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
So you're not on painkillers now, but you
No,
are going through extensive physio because I've seen the videos of your progress. And I mean, this is the thing, I don't know if you know, I've had arthritis for most of my life and
yeah,
it's getting worse and worse and worse. I'm
yeah,
often
that's
walking
bad.
with
I've
things.
got to my shoulders. It's awful.
Oh, it is awful. And the thing is, I know how hard it is when your legs hurt to walk after
Yeah,
surgery. So you're learning to walk on one leg, really, aren't you?
yeah,
And luckily, you do have good upper body strength.
yep.
See, all carrying all those cabs all those years,
That's
stuff
it.
has
Yeah,
really come in handy.
yeah. Throwing people off stages and all
Those
sorts of
people on
stuff.
stages, you see,
Yeah.
everyone a winner. So, when you, how long is it going to be before they give you a prosthetic leg? Do you think?
Well, they've told me when I went physio not. I've just been on Thursday, last Thursday, the Wednesday before. She said to me by the middle of June. She said 4 weeks from then. So I'm looking at 3 weeks from now. For
Wow.
have the legs. I mean, my legs still a bit wide. They told me legs got shrink a bit more with these compression stockings.
Oh yeah.
It's just got shrink a little bit more. Still a bit wide, but she's looking about 3 weeks time.
That will be amazing. And that's
And
going to
then,
be another thing to learn, isn't it? Of
well, then
course.
she said once you, well, that's they take a cast of it, and I think you might get it a few days later or whatever, or a week. But she said it's not very long, and then she said obviously you've got to get used to walking,
Yeah.
which I will be going for. No straight out.
Oh, I know. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah,
determinate. You should really. I mean, determination. If you're going to have a new tattoo, I think the word determination has got to be in there. You are so focused on this, and I mean, it's so admirable because you know there would be people that would not have that attitude. They would maybe, I don't want to say use it as an excuse to just do
yeah, yeah,
nothing. It's like, people have a choice, don't they? I make a choice to get out of bed every morning, whether I feel like it or not. You're
yeah.
making, and lots of people do that. I'm nothing special to do that, by the
Well,
way.
yeah, yeah.
But you know what I mean? When you're in pain and you're
Well,
exhausted,
it's
it is a thing.
It's when you go to like up the limb pitting centre and the physio, there's people in there and you can hear them talking. Like, so there's only usually 4 or 5 waiting because it's really good, but you can see that someone were really down about it and not positive and nothing like that. And I'm thinking I couldn't be like that.
No,
There's a little old man in there, an ex-war veteran with no legs at all, 2 little stumps, and he's lovely and he's so good. And then there's a young
oh,
lad, a bit younger than me, who thinks, he's just like, like it's the end of his world. And I said to him last week, so it's not the end of the world. You must see like my mate Bod as him. I said, look at Bod. I said he's 60, running around like a 15-year-old child on that leg. You can't get down. I don't think, but obviously people do. It affects
yeah,
people
everybody
differently.
they do. Everybody's different, but I think it's also the focus. You've got this, as you say, your passion is the music,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
because you've got that passion and that is they're your tribe.
yeah,
That's given you that impetus. Maybe if you don't have anything in your life like that,
yeah.
maybe it's a bit you won't be so
Well, well,
focused. I don't know.
well, that was it. When I was in hospital, obviously people were messaging me, Jenny Russell and Darren from Rebellion,
Yes,
and Alan Taylor, the manager, and everything. They were all saying, "Do you think?" And I said, "Well, my aim." I know I'm going to go back work. I know I am. My
yeah.
job's there for me to go back to.
Oh, that's good.
And I said, but my first aim is make sure I'm okay for Rebellion. I won't be on my feet. And they've obviously catered for me. They've told me I'm working. I'm going to be on the arena stage. They want me to take my chair as well in case I need it,
Yeah,
which I'm hoping I won't do. But I will take it because that's what they've asked me to do. And they've
yeah,
also asked me, while I'm there, Alan Taylor, um, to go round on my chair every day, early doors, and do all the routes and see if it's up to, if it's because obviously some bits and bobs and some aspects are somewhere. Uh, they need just checking out. Alan says you go around all the
yeah.
the places where the disabled access is on, all that, and you make sure they're okay for us and report
You'll
back to
see
them.
things, yeah, from
Yeah,
such a different viewpoint now.
yeah, yeah. You
Actually,
do
not
now.
just
You do
yeah.
now. Honestly.
Yeah, oh yeah, well, extraordinary. I remember when I had my first leg surgery many years ago. I was sitting in Hanley Park in a wheelchair and had a can of Coke, and somebody just came past and tried to put money in it.
You should have shook it a bit more. Get a
I
tenner.
never should have done, should I? But I mean, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, I remember. I mean, this is so. It probably sounds so stupid to you, but I remember because my knees were so bad. I said to my surgeon, "Look, can I have those kangaroo legs that they have, the metal ones?
Yeah, like
The
the Blade
runners?
Runner one.
Yeah,
Like,
the
yeah,
Blade Runner ones. Can I have them?" He said, "No, because you've got to have good knees to have those." And you haven't got good knees. Your knees are rubbish. We'd have to amputate yours above the knee, and then you'd be screwed. And I was like,
yeah,
"That's so unfair. I can't even have kangaroo legs."
yeah, yeah.
But they might give you a kangaroo leg. You could go in the
No, no,
limit.
I don't want. I want a normal leg. I want something I can put a Doc Martin on.
Yeah, and I think that Doc Martin should actually, I mean, they might have to make you something a bit like, the insole a bit different. I think they should send you a brand new pair, quite honestly. Although that's a bugger to wear in, isn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't feel it, would I?
No, bloody hell, of course you wouldn't. Boing.
On my left foot, on my left foot, I could stretch that one a bit,
And
yeah.
did you know, I don't know if it still exists, but in New York, years ago, there used to be a boot and glove exchange shop.
All right,
This
yeah.
is true, right? So, like, which leg is it? Your right one, right?
Right one.
Right one. So you'd have a pair of boots and somebody's got no left leg, that you'd have the right one and you give them the left one.
Oh, goodness.
It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it is,
Whole
yeah.
Facebook marketplace right opening up there for another source of income. So, okay, so rebellion is the goal, and I know you're going to do it.
Yeah, I am, yeah. I've spoke to Alan, who's obviously manages it. and we sorted out everything about, health and safety, what he wants me to do, such and such, and obviously they've got to do a risk assessment for me and everything. But yeah, I
Have you
can't see
had
any
to get
problems.
liability insurance?
Because there might be a couple of steps onto our stage. Yeah, public liability and all that. Like, we have to
Yeah.
do all that every year. Health and safety. Rebellion have got to a T now. They're really
Yeah, they
good. They've
have.
really. It's gone from being just a festival, but now obviously with health and safety paperwork, and Alan, Jenny, and the team have got it all sussed. And I'm basically, so I'm doing that stage. What I was on last year. It's only a couple of steps up. I might not be umping as much gear as I was,
No.
but I will be. Hopefully next year, might be not this year. I'm still going to do it. I know I can do it. I know I
Oh,
can.
yeah, I have no doubt
But
about it.
but I'll be more looking at maybe band liaising because all the bands when they're there, like last year with Johnny. Johnny was like managing the stage. I was doing all the meeting and greeting, making sure the bands were on time and such and such. And I can do that because it's good access there, even if you're on a wheelchair.
Yeah,
If I
out
need
the
one
back.
in a wheelchair, hopefully
Yeah.
I won't need to be on my wheelchair. I might be on my legs all day, which I don't mind. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I think you're brilliant, and I think you're gonna get that many people who don't even know you're coming up to you because, you've become quite a kind of you're going I mean, this is gonna go out to places and people that don't even know you, but who know of you are gonna see
Yeah,
it, hopefully. Um, and you just mentioned on your diabetes, and you think that that had an impact more than, say, if
yeah,
you hadn't have had
yeah.
diabetes?
Well, I was diagnosed diabetic about 10 years ago. Obviously, I was cutting a bit of weight, drinking too much, and obviously Denise, who I was seeing, was like, what's the word? I can't remember. It's gone now. I've gone blank.
Uh,
Nutrition and all that. So she was
yeah.
bollocking. Sorry, she was telling me off
Yes, you can swear.
every other day kind of thing. And
Yeah.
after 10 years, it sunk in. So before Christmas, I didn't. I was cutting out having a drink in the week. I was just having a drink in the weekend, nowhere near as much as normal. Changed my diet, a bit more healthy, cut out a lot of crap, and my blood pressure was high. So I got my blood pressure down to where it should be, and my blood pressure stayed. I'm still blood pressure's really all through hospital. They couldn't believe how good my blood
I
pressure
was
was.
gonna say,
My
yeah.
blood sugars were down, and when I was in hospital, some days they were high, depending what you ate, but most of the days they were around 7, 8, 9 mark, which they should be. So, and that's what got me so more pissed off than anything. As I'd lost weight, 2.5 stone, and I was getting
Wow.
myself better and fitter and eating right, and I get caught with diabetes, and that's what did me when I was getting better than I've ever been.
I know, it's not fair, is it?
No, no, no.
But, I mean, I'm not a religious person at all, but I know religious people say you're never given more than you can handle, and
Yeah,
sometimes you think, "Just how strong do you think I am? Could you give me a bit less, please?"
yeah, yeah.
But if you are given the hands that you're dealt, you gotta deal with it the
Oh,
best you
that's it.
can.
That's exactly it. That's it. You can't look back. What's happened happened. Just I look at the positive and the best way I can move on.
Yeah, I think you're brilliant. I've followed your journey on Facebook, as have so many people who know you far better than I know you. I mean, I know you, but you've got very close circle of friends, and there's a lovely family that are very supportive, and that's wonderful. But I think people think of you as a bit of a hero. I
I
know
wouldn't say,
you
I wouldn't say
don't.
I'm an hero. I wouldn't say I'm an hero.
Well, it's
I'm,
probably the
I'm
first time
positive. I'm
you are
positive, and I've
positive.
tried. I've tried. Well, I want to try help people, but if anyone wants to talk to me about anything like this, if
Yeah,
they have it, it's like work. As soon as I did this at work, I got on to work. And I said, "Listen, you've seen what's happened to me. It's a good company you work for, MT, with a good set of people, but some people do still wear trainers on site and wear
no, that's
trainers."
against.
And
Oh,
I said to him, "Listen, I'm not naming any names, but you do know people." Still, he said, "Yeah, we do." He said, "But we've had." I said, "You need to have a toolbox talk and then tell them, see
yeah,
what's happened to me." I had boots on. If that had been on
yeah.
a trainer, that'd have been through the foot, that nail.
Oh my God, I
So
know,
they've
I
done.
know.
So what they've done now, they've just made a policy that if anyone's caught without trainers on, eh, with
With
trainers on at
trainers,
work,
yeah,
it's an instant dismissal, and which is good
yeah.
because I know it sounds harsh, but it's a
It
positive
doesn't, not
message
on
to
a
stop other
building
people.
site.
Yeah, but
No, no.
a lot of building sites and a lot of trade now. Boots, they're making boots now, which I didn't know about. I was told about it when I was in hospital, and somebody showed me. A lot of companies, JCBs and places like that, are now doing boots where they've got a layer of metal through the heel foot to
Oh,
stop
right.
nails and stuff coming through. So
Oh, that's
surely that's got to be a
incredible.
better thing. Yeah, a bit like
Oh,
a.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, the thing is, would you say, I mean, I don't know about, somebody asked me when I told them about it, said, did he not have a tetanus shot?
I'd
Well,
already, I'd had a tetanus 2 years before when I sliced my
yeah,
finger off.
Yeah, so they, yeah, God, what you're trying to do is just this is turning into a fetish now for you, losing parts of your body.
No, I only lost a little bit. I just nicked it with a circular
Oh,
saw.
let's have a look at your finger.
I can fit that in a pencil sharpener now. Hey, when I did it, honestly, you'd see the photo, you'd think, goodness gracious. But the
I know
surgeons again
we are
stitched it
quite
up,
remarkable.
healed brilliantly.
So you're not going to do any more. We're not going to be losing any more limbs or any more bits of Evo, are
I hope
we?
not. I hope not. I hope not.
And what size Doc Martens are you?
Um, tens, but I like 11s. Have a bit more room.
Bit more room. And
Mm.
what are you? Are you a 10 high, a 20 high? What's your
Oh
favourite?
no, just the 10i, yeah,
It's a
not them
10 high.
20i.
Yeah, no. Well, that's a bit too
Yeah,
old school, really. The 20.
yeah,
Anyway, too many laces. Bloody hell, I haven't got time for all those laces
yeah.
now.
Yeah, no 10. I like a 10i one. Yeah,
And
sound.
obviously black. We're black, aren't we? Like black, don't we?
Well, I've got black. I like my cherry reds. I
Oh,
absolutely
do
love my
you?
cherry reds.
What
I've
do you
got black
prefer?
cherry reds. Um, I
Which
wear my
one
cherry reds more than my black.
do
But
you?
I've also got black. I've also got a pair of cherry red, which Moz gave me out of senseless to buy
Oh,
me.
yeah.
He gave me an old pair of his, which were cherry red, and he put black polish on them, so they're like two tone.
Oh,
The red comes
nice.
through. The black, they look really good.
Oh, I bet they
But
do.
yeah, so
Yeah, cherry red. You see, a lot of people
yeah,
don't even know they're called cherry red. Have to be
yeah,
old to know things like that.
yeah. Cherry, oxblood, whatever the word is.
Yeah, it is now. We called them cherry reds, but there you
Yeah,
go. Well, I think you're brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's not something you normally would do. And also, do you think at some point there may be, if you've got the time, I don't know if there are support groups out there for people that find themselves recently losing limbs. I don't know
yeah, yeah.
is that something that you know of? Is there anything that you can recommend to people to go out? Or
Eh,
I know you said you talk to people yourself, but
yeah. There's got to be something. I mean, I haven't really looked myself. I'm just obviously I've just said to people on Facebook. So if anyone's ever got any problems and wants anything positive, and if they're down or anything like that, or they've got anything going on,
yeah,
I said I'm more down can you better than having a leg off.
yeah.
I
Well, I
said,
can
but
give.
I haven't let it get me down. I've kept positive.
Well, I think
I
this is
mean,
it. You've kept positive. You really are. You're embracing every challenge, which is so honestly. I know you see. This is what is wonderful. You think this is normal. Do you know it's not normal?
no, I know it's not normal. I'll just tell you a funny story as well.
Go
Last
on
week
then.
I went to Nice and Sleazy Festival, which is now
Yeah,
called Sleazy Fest because they've had to move.
it's not
But the
nice.
venue it was in is where the Morecambe Punk Festival is.
Okay.
And it's two rooms, but get between the two rooms is a really big step. So I was moaning at that bar. Obviously, I wouldn't have done normally, but because you're in a wheelchair, I was moaning. People got to help me get down there. And just things like that you pick up on. And like I went to Record Fair the other day, which had got a brilliant level access in. But once you got in there, then you couldn't get to the toilet because there was a step.
Uh,
So it's just like little things. And I know you wouldn't normally look at it. And I think I'm going to try and make a point of that, making
yeah,
people more aware. Luckily, I can get out my chair and hop down and pull my chair down behind me someplace
yeah,
sometimes. But if it's a really steep one, I don't like doing it just in case I lose my balance, but I have done once.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Because you
things like.
knocked that tattoo, didn't you?
But when we were there we were watching a band, and they blew up some beach balls and threw them in the crowd. And this lad called Sean, he caught a ball, and I said, "Sean, put me that ball." So I kicked it up and kicked it with my stump. He was absolutely rolling round with laughter, so I can still make people laugh with a dodgy leg. He was rolling round laughing. He said, "I can't believe you just done that. You got a stump and kick the ball with your stump."
Hey, I mean, this is another skill. You see, you couldn't have done that before, probably. You'd have probably gone sideways with the ball. So, I mean, I'll tell people that if they want to find you, you are on Facebook. Obviously,
Yeah,
I can't imagine anyone would bother you over nothing.
yeah,
Yeah, because I'm sure you will be an inspiration to people,
yeah.
especially like younger people who perhaps, haven't got that drive and determination that you have.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what you say about the access needs. I mean, I know myself, have you got an access card and everything by now, by the way?
No. That's still got to come yet with this PEP and whatever
Yeah,
forms.
you can apply for the access
I've
card
only just filled
separately.
them in because that's a nightmare. Everything for doing
Oh,
that.
yeah. Well, I've got the access card's really good, but one thing I always find, and I don't know if you've found this yet, but being a lady, what likes to sit down when I go to the loo, if I go to the toilet, there'll be a disabled toilet, but the toilets are so low But when I get on it, my bloody knee, I'm like, oh my God, getting off it.
Yeah.
They're not, in my house, I've got a throne, I've got a high toilet because it suits my legs better. Stuff like, people don't even think about those things, do they?
No. Well, and another thing as well, which I'll admit, you wouldn't normally do it because you won't normally go into a disabled toilet.
No,
I've also noticed that some of them are really poorly kept.
they are.
Toilet seats hanging off, the bars which you need push off are hanging off.
Yeah,
And
which is very
it's just,
dangerous in itself.
oh, yeah.
I know.
Well, that's why I have to get up, obviously, if I have a whittle, out my chair, push up, and I have to hold on to one of them for my right leg.
Yeah.
But some of them are just
No,
poorly
I mean, you
kept.
don't want a wobbly bar, do you?
No.
No.
Where was it the other day? And the toilet was absolutely shocking. The condition. It was a Weatherspoons of all places, but I can't
Well,
remember.
that'll teach you.
Yeah, I think it was Newcastle. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
well,
They were falling off the bars. The toilet seat was hanging off.
that's disgusting.
No,
Did you complain?
no, I'm not a complainer, but I should do really.
You should
I
do.
should make a fuss of it. Yeah.
Now you're one of the disabled, mate.
I keep thinking more for other people, more for proper disabled people,
Yeah.
not one like myself
Oh,
who were fully in a wheelchair all the time.
yeah. Oh, I know. But I think. But the thing is, you've got such a strong presence and such a this determination attitude. You should be a spokesperson for disabled
Yeah.
rights because
Well,
they'll listen to you because you're an
yeah.
imposing figure. Even with half a leg on one side, you're still an imposing.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't fight you.
my brother took me out last Friday to the Moat House, as we call it then. I don't know what you
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
Hampton. So we went to Boxing Day, which he sponsors a table and has a lot to do with the bloke who runs the boxing club. And there was a lot of people coming up there and talking to me. Anyway, we were in a bar, and a fella asked me what happened. I was talking to him. I told him the old shark story. The shark had bit it off in Australia. And then I come clean. But there was two ladies with him. They must have been the girlfriends or the wives or whatever. But they both worked as they were like social media influence kind of thing. They
Oh,
work
right.
on social with media, and they were saying to me, "What with your story and everything, what you've done?" And you says, "I know you've got it on Facebook, what you've told us about." I said, "But you should go on to the other one,
Oh,
what's run by
TikTok.
TikTok." No, not that one.
Oh, Instagram.
Instagram said
Yeah.
because on there, people like yourself who are positive, make a diet. He says these people looking out for throw things at you, better standards of legs, better and or want your knowledge and want to. And he says,
Yeah,
and she says,
absolutely.
"What you want?" I mean, I've got one photo on this. I've never been on Instagram in my life, so I wouldn't know what to do anyway. But there's always things like that.
There's people that can
But
do
then
that
you think,
for you.
I keep thinking, am I going on and bullying myself up kind of thing? And people,
Now
I'm not that kind of person kind of
no, I
thing.
know you're not. That's why I really wanted you on here because you're not somebody that's like full of your own self. Look at me, I'm marvelous.
Yeah.
But you have
That's what I say. Warts and all, I put on there. When I
yeah,
fall and I get hurt, I put it on there. I
yeah.
don't keep saying I'm brilliant, so I can get around here and everywhere. I fell 4
You're
times.
you're telling the truth about what it's like, the journey to
I
recovery.
got up the other day for going my chair. Where I'm sitting now, I'm on like a little recliner chair, and there's a settee next to me. I went for going my wheelchair, and I fell in between the two, and I couldn't get up. I was stuck. I had to shout and scream for my lad. I couldn't get to my phone. He was upstairs on his game. It took me about 10 minutes. I was just wedged between the settees, and I was at such a weird angle. I couldn't push it down with my hands. I couldn't push off my leg.
I'm sorry.
And I was laughing. I was laughing when my son came down. I was just laughing so much because it was just ridiculous.
See, I'm so glad that you can say that to me, and I can actually just laugh out loud about that because other people will be like going, "Oh, really, Oli? That's so terrible." And inside, but I can just laugh because I can just see you there. I mean, people who don't know you because you are sitting down. You're quite a tall guy. Well, mind you, everyone's tall to me. How
5'10",
tall are you?
5'10",
5'10", you see.
5'10 and a half.
So I always thought you were about 6'4", but that's because I
Yeah.
am very small.
Yeah, 5'11" was shrunk a bit. I was 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah, well, you've lost a bit now, haven't you?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you talking to me, and I am going to share some clips of this and some
Yeah.
stories. Please feel free to put it out there, and let's see where it goes. But you're an inspiration, and I'm proud to know you. I mean, I was
Yep.
proud to know you before now, but
Oh
even
yeah.
more
Always
now.
been proud of your friend. Always.
Oh, well, right
You're a
back
good
at
girl.
you. Right, well, now we come to that part of my programme that I say, Lee Evo Evans, you've been a brilliant guest. Thank you so much for talking so honestly with me.
Pleasure.
And you are an inspiration. And people, if you want to know more about Evo's story, you can ask to request him on Facebook at the moment, but he may be coming to Instagram soon. And carry on with all your exercises, and I look forward to giving you a massive hug next time I see you.
Yeah, excellent.